When you are living paycheck to paycheck, everyone talks about the money you do not have. Nobody talks about everything else it is taking from you. Because here is what nobody tells you about financial stress. It is not just emptying your bank account, it is quietly taxing your health, your relationships, your career, your sleep, and your ability to think clearly. And the worst part? You cannot see it on a balance sheet. You cannot feel it leaving, but it is leaving every single day. This is the invisible tax. And today, we are putting a number on everything it is actually costing you. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you woke up and your first thought was not about money? Not about a bill, not about a payment coming up, not about how much is left in your account after this week, not about whether you can make it to the next paycheck without something going sideways. For a lot of people, that feeling is so constant, so deeply woven into every single morning, that they have stopped noticing it is even there. That is exactly what makes it so dangerous. Financial stress is not an event. It is a climate. It is the weather inside your mind every single day. And just like actual weather, it affects everything around it, your body, your relationships, your decisions, your future. And unlike every other tax you pay, nobody tells you this one exists. Nobody hands you a bill. It just quietly extracts from you, month after month, year after year, until one day you wonder why you are so exhausted when you have not even done anything yet. If this channel is new to you, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We talk about money and the real-world impact it has on your life, not just numbers, the full picture. Let's get into it. Let's start somewhere most financial content never goes: your body. When you are under chronic financial stress and paycheck to paycheck, living is by definition chronic. Your body is running on a constant low-level cortisol drip. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It is designed for short bursts. A threat appears, cortisol spikes. You respond, threat disappears, cortisol drops. But financial stress does not disappear. It is there when you wake up. It is there when you check your phone. It is there when a friend mentions a trip you cannot afford. It is there at the grocery store when you are quietly doing math in your head while trying to look normal. It never turns off. And what chronic cortisol does to your body over time is well documented and genuinely alarming. It disrupts your sleep. Not just makes it harder to fall asleep, it degrades the quality of the sleep you do get, meaning you can sleep 8 hours and still wake up running on empty. It weakens your immune system. People under chronic financial stress get sick more often and recover more slowly. This is not anecdotal. This is measurable. It increases your risk of cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, weight gain, inflammation, and chronic pain conditions. And here is the cruel irony: being in poor health is expensive. Doctor visits, medication, missed work. The invisible tax creates a physical toll that often generates more financial stress on top of the original financial stress. It is a loop, and your body is paying for it. Now here is the part that will change how you see every financial decision you have ever beaten yourself up over. Chronic financial stress does not just make you feel bad. It literally changes how your brain functions. There is a concept researchers call cognitive bandwidth. Think of it like RAM on a computer. You have a limited amount of mental processing power available at any given time. When you are carrying financial worry, and paycheck to paycheck living means you are always carrying financial worry, a significant portion of that bandwidth is permanently occupied, running in the background, unavailable for anything else. What does that mean in practical terms? It means your decision-making is impaired. Not because you are not smart, because your brain is genuinely operating with fewer available resources. Studies have shown that people under financial stress perform significantly worse on cognitive tests, not slightly worse, significantly. The effect is comparable to losing a full night of sleep, or functioning at the cognitive level associated with a meaningful drop in IQ. Every day. Think about what that means for your career, your ability to problem solve, your ability to negotiate, your ability to spot opportunities, learn new skills, and make the kind of long-term strategic decisions that would actually improve your financial situation. The invisible tax is not just taking your money. It is impairing the very tool you need to earn more of it. And then people wonder why getting out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle feels so impossibly hard. It is not a motivation problem. It is a bandwidth problem. And the stress itself is consuming the bandwidth you need to solve it. Money is the #1 cause of conflict in relationships. You have heard that statistic before. But here is the version of it nobody talks about. It is not just about disagreements over spending. It is about what financial stress does to who you are when you are around the people you love. When your baseline state is anxiety, when your nervous system is running hot because of money worry, you have less patience, less capacity for empathy, less emotional availability. You snap at people faster. You withdraw more. Small frustrations feel disproportionately large, not because you are a bad partner or a bad parent or a bad friend, because you are a human being, running chronically depleted, and there is nothing left in the tank by the time the people who matter most need something from you. And the invisible tax on relationships goes deeper than conflict. It is the trips you did not take, the experiences you said no to, the version of yourself you would have been lighter, more present, more generous with your time and attention that financial stress quietly replaced with someone more guarded, more distracted, more absent. Financial stress does not just affect your relationship with money, it affects your relationship with everyone around you. And most of the time, nobody in that relationship connects the dots back to the real source. Here is the trap most people never see coming. Being broke makes it harder to get unbroke. Not just because of math, because of psychology. When you are living paycheck to paycheck, your relationship with risk changes completely. You cannot afford to take the job that pays less now but positions you better in 2 years. You cannot afford to invest in the course, the certification, the tool that would make you more valuable. Financial stress creates a scarcity mindset, and scarcity mindset makes you short-term by necessity, not by choice. You are not being irresponsible. You are responding rationally to your environment, but the environment is keeping you stuck. There is also something that happens in the workplace that nobody talks about. Financial stress is visible, not obviously, not in ways people would point to, but in your energy levels, your confidence, your ability to project calm under pressure, your willingness to speak up and advocate for yourself. The person negotiating their salary from a position of desperation negotiates differently than the person negotiating from a position of security. The person showing up to work exhausted from financial anxiety performs differently than the person who slept well. The invisible tax follows you into the office. It sits across from you in every job interview, and it costs you in ways that never show up on a pay stub. And here is where we get to the part that most people keep waiting on. Starting when you are ready. The problem with waiting until you are ready is that the invisible tax makes sure ready never quite arrives, because ready feels like having enough. And the loop is specifically designed to make sure enough never comes. So let us reframe this completely. You do not start when you are ready. You start to become ready by starting. The first move is not financial, it is psychological. It is deciding that the invisible tax has taken enough, that the cost of staying exactly where you are is higher than the discomfort of changing something. And here is what that actually looks like in practice. First, name the tax. Write down, honestly, what financial stress is costing you right now, not in dollars, in sleep, in health, in patience with your kids, in opportunities you have walked away from, in the version of yourself you have not been able to show up as. Make it real, make it visible, because an invisible tax only keeps collecting when you cannot see it. Second, stop waiting for the perfect moment to address your finances and start with the smallest possible move. Not a complete overhaul, not a new budget system, one thing. Today, open the account, make the call, transfer the first $20. The size of the move matters far less than the direction of it. Third, understand that clarity is the first return on investment. The moment you start looking at your finances clearly, even when what you see is uncomfortable, the cognitive weight of not knowing begins to lift. The invisible tax is partly funded by avoidance. Looking at it directly removes a significant portion of its power. Because here is the truth about the invisible tax. It does not just cost you money, it costs you time, energy, health, relationships, career momentum, mental clarity, the version of your life you could be living right now. And every day you wait is another day it collects. You are not bad with money. You are not lazy. You are not irresponsible. You are not behind because you did not try hard enough. You have been paying a tax nobody told you existed on top of every other financial challenge you were already navigating. And now you see it. The invisible tax only works when it stays invisible. The moment you name it, the moment you connect your exhaustion, your frayed relationships, your clouded thinking, your stalled career to the real source, everything changes. Not overnight, not perfectly, but in the direction that matters. If this video hit close to home, share it with someone who needs to hear it. The person in your life who is grinding hard and still feels like they are going nowhere. The one who is tired in a way that sleep does not fix. They need this conversation. Drop a comment below and tell me what is the one area of your life where you can now see the invisible tax has been collecting the most. I read every single one. Subscribe if you are new, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. The tax is real. Now you see the bill.